Fishy folks, and welcome back to Michael's Fish Room. Today, let's talk about how to set up a fry tank. Grab yourself a healthy snack and a beverage. Stand by. Welcome back, Fishy folks. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up an emergency fry tank. And of course, this comes from Facebook, the Beginner Aquariums group. I see this question literally every day. So I thought I'd make a video so I could just, answer with the video like I always do. But also, I mean, it's pretty basic and it's good knowledge to have. Now, I've made other videos regarding the whole fry process, but I guess this is specifically to the setup, the tank itself. So here's the situation. You bought some guppies or platies or whatever, live bearers. You thought they were all males because that's what the kid at PetSmart said. Lo and behold, you come home one day and boom, little tiny fish swimming. And you're like, oh my God. And your kid is like, oh my God. And you're thinking to yourself, well, let's let nature take its course. But meanwhile, little Johnny or Susie's like, no, I want to raise them. They're my babies. And so, as a parent, what do? I'm fine. You raise them. But you know that guppy fry, or any fry for that matter, are tender and delicious. And you know that they're going to be eaten at the first chance the parents get. So you know you have to take them out, but you don't have a cycle tank. And, when you first started the hobby, you lost 50 fish because you didn't know about the nitrogen cycle, and now you learned about the nitrogen cycle, and now you're afraid. And that's fair. The thing is, fry have a very, 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 very small bioload. And as we know, the nitrogen cycle is dependent on the bioload. If you have a low bioload, it'll take a very long time to cycle a tank. But on the flip side, there's very little ammonia being produced to cause issues. So really, you don't need to cycle a fry tank. It's that simple. I never cycle a fry tank. In fact, all my separate fry tanks, which I'm going to show you, and they're over here, is from when I get my import orders in and there's fry in the bag. I want to save them because they're little dollar signs to me. And all I do is empty the bag out into a net like always, pick out the parents and put them in the bucket like I always do. And then I put the fry, I'm fine, in a brand new tank. I just take a plastic shoebox like this. I'll put links to Amazon. There will be affiliate links down below if you wanted to buy what I have or something similar. All I do is fill that with water and put the fish in, and I'm almost done. That's it. Don't overthink it. You have to know about the nitrogen cycle, but you should know about the nitrogen cycle if you have fish. They produce such a small bioload, no need to cycle anything. In fact, I don't have any filters in my fry tanks. Let me show you the setup. All right, fishy folks, here are my fry tanks. And I do have a couple of the shoe boxes. But because of space limitations on my workbench, which is a disaster right now, I use this dip and pour viewer. I have this small container that I use in the fish room for fish, to look at fish, separate fish, whatever. I also use this when you buy a seated sponge filter. I take the sponge filter out and I put it in here. I try to make sure there are no snails on it, and then whatever, I pack it. But that's what this is used for. But in an emergency, it's great as a fry tank. So let's just look at this basic setup. We have an air stone, just because. Probably not needed, but it makes me feel better. We have a piece of an Indian almond leaf, which will have biofilm on it for the guppy fry to eat. And loam. Some of the tanks have a little bit of floating plants, also for the fish to eat off the biofilm. And that's it. How do you do water changes? Good question. I take a rigid Airline tubing, or just this tube. I create a small suction and I just suck up some of the loam. Not all of it, but some of it. And then I add water. That's it. That's all I do. Now these guys have been in here for, I don't know, 6 weeks. These are a little newer. I think these are about the same, but you can see these guys are quite a bit bigger. For whatever reason, they're growing faster. But that's it. That's what I do. I don't even test water. There's really no need to. The bioload is so small. Beneficial bacteria will grow on the surfaces in the tank, and that's that. Now you might be saying to yourself, Mike, what do you feed them? And you know, doesn't that add to the bioload? And yeah, it does add to the bioload, but you know, they're still really small, so you don't overfeed. I try to feed 3 to 4 times a day. Sometimes they get fed once a day, sometimes they don't get fed at all. They're just eating the biofilm off the stuff in the tank. So what do I feed them? Well, my favorite is the Dr. Bacillera Nano. It's just great food. It's got almost 60% protein, if I remember correctly, which I love. I also really like the freeze-dried Cyclops from San Francisco Bay brand. This is really good stuff. And then I have the ultra fresh newborn shrimp patties or whatever it's called, but this is good stuff too. And of course, live baby brine shrimp 2 or 3 times a day. And I got my brine shrimp from aquariumcoop.com. That's it. I change water when I feel like it, maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. It's probably been 2 weeks since I've done a water change, and lo and behold, they're all okay. I will probably just top these up when we're done. You can see the water is here. And in fact, I'm going to do that. Stand by. And okay, you can see all the detritus is, you know, floating around in all the tanks. I just took water from my auto water change system and added, I don't know, 10, 15, 20%, I don't know. I like to keep the tubs a little low because guppies are jumpers, so it'll deter them from jumping into another tank or another whatever. And that's that, folks. It's just another thing that people typically overthink in the hobby. If you really want them to survive, you know, net them out, put them in here, get a seated sponge filter, you know, feed them high quality food, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's all fine. But I breed for profit, and I don't use a filter. I don't use a tank. I just use anything that you can put the fish in. I like the fact that it's small and not too deep, so that it's easy for them to find the food when they're little tiny babies. These guys are just about ready to go in the main tank. These are metal blacks. I'm sorry, these were metal blacks. These are coral blue tails now. But I don't need to put them in the tank. I don't need this room, so I'm gonna leave them here until they get almost adult size. Guys, if you have any comments or questions, let me know down below. If you have an emergency question, your best bet's to email me through my website, michaelsfishroom.com. And of course, if you like what you see here, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps. And of course, tell all your friends. Have a great day. Alright, fishy folks, like I said, today we're going to be talking about how to set up a fry tank, really for a guppy or any live bearers. This probably works for other fish, but I don't really breed many other fish besides guppies, cories, plecos, angels, rams. But this is really for live bearers. You can use it like what the fuck am I saying?